Hi everyone, today I want to introduce you to a different kind of game, Warframe. You might have seen or heard about this before or even played it before because this game came out in 2013 and it's still going strong and getting new updates, including the new Vallis Undermind update that I played through the other day. So I want to show this off to you guys. I do want to note that this is a sponsored video, so thank you to Digital Extremes, the makers of Warframe, for that, but I had an absolute blast and it's quite likely I will log in and continue my playthrough. So what is Warframe actually about? Well, this is a futuristic sci-fi looter shooter third-person action game, effectively, where you play as a so-called Tenno that has this body suit called a frame that gives you various abilities, and you have all kinds of combat enhancements, different move sets, and tons of weapons to choose from. For me, it was very enjoyable to weave together certain melee combos, do a jump slam attack, and then whip out the bow and snipe something from range, and then use one of my mag abilities and, AoE down everything that was around me in that moment. So there's really cool stuff that you can do. The moment-to-moment combat is very fast-paced, lots of action, and you also can master the movement and fly through those maps with certain slide and jump combos that you can do that just makes it really fun to both explore and fight enemies. In some of my tutorial missions I was also grouped up with random other people, so there's actually a matchmaking feature where it just searches for a party and fills up the spots on the go. You can actually set this to public or friends only, invite only, or just full solo. So most of the time I did play solo, but it was actually kind of cool to see someone else running around with me and whacking down the enemies. In my case, I mostly focused on playing through the campaign missions for now, but there is a ton of content in the 12 years of development that this game has stacked up by now. So you can just imagine the possibilities of different types of missions that you can go for, and even all sorts of mini games that have been introduced into the game, and just the incredible character customization that is available to you. Not only that, but Warframe is free to play and available on pretty much all of the platforms with crossplay. So there's Windows, console, PlayStation, Xbox, even iOS, and soon Android. So they have it all, and you can play with all of your friends at any time, up to 4 people in one party. And this game sports over 60 different frames that you can unlock that give you different abilities and a completely different playstyle thanks to their strengths and weaknesses. In my case, I played with Mag, which is one of the free starter frames that you can choose, and very soon after I started unlocking the first one, and then you can also get more, for example, from the in-game store or unlock them as you go. And obviously there are all kinds of different archetypes available, like more brawn or stealthy or ranged or melee kind of combat characters, and well, everything in between. But just choosing which frame to play doesn't really decide everything. There are over 600 weapons to choose from in this game as well. So you can always customize your kit to your liking and make sure you are best equipped for the situation you're facing. And similar to the ARPGs that I typically cover, this really felt like you are piecing together the puzzle of what makes your character, and you're creating your own build like that, which felt really amazing. Personally, I knew a little bit about Warframe from long ago when the game was much newer, and I watched some people play this, for example, and I almost decided to start playing it myself. And I'm really glad that I got the opportunity now with this new Vallis Undermind update. In addition to that, they also made onboarding new players pretty easy these days, because there is a tutorial that you play through, and also the new player introduction called the Teacher. So you can do a few extra missions after the tutorial that gives you a bit more insight on just how to progress your character and mod your gear.
Very well, if you think they are ready.
So in the game, the Teacher is effectively your mentor that gives you a few tasks that you have to fulfill, and you learn how to play Warframe a little better. One thing I noticed while playing for Warframe was definitely how stunning the game looks and feels. I really love the immersion that you have in this game, where you walk around your own spaceship, for example, and you click on the console and that actually opens up the menu, and then you go from that to the next one, and you're always in character, in the world, and you kind of move from part of the world to the next, which is really amazing. I also think the world building is great, and you interact with tons of different characters and personalities along the way, that all just adds a little bit of spice or wit to the conversations, which is fun.
If you need scrap and a snap, just talk to your junkyard diplomat. That'd be me, Thursby, Thunderstruck, Sean Unpluck, down in his luck, whatever. Tell me you want to buy something. Please. I need this.
And as you go through the game, you'll find more and more of these characters that you interact with, that even unlock new factions to buy special equipment from, for example. And there's a lot of things to work towards and to progress for. But Warframe doesn't just offer an exciting campaign playthrough. You can actually spend thousands of hours doing the endgame grind, upgrading your gear, unlocking new frames and weapons, modding your items to have the best possible setup, and it's a very long tail end in progression if you want that. In fact, I had many of my viewers that talked about having played a lot of Warframe in the past or still actively playing it. Some of my friends that have ludicrous amounts of hours in this game. So it definitely looks like there's a lot of stuff to discover and to work towards. And one of the ways to unlock, for example, more frames and weapons is through the in-game store. So there you can spend either credits, which you earn by playing the game, or platinum, the premium currency that you can buy directly from the store, or for example by trading with other players that pay you in platinum, so that you can eventually grind it out. For me, just starting out with the game, it didn't really seem necessary at all to really think about this too hard. I was just vibing, blasting through the game, and I guess later on you're gonna find a specific Warframe you want to work towards, and then a certain weapon combination that goes with that, and you can piece it all together. One other cool customization feature that Warframe offers is modding. So I'm not talking about modding the game to be something completely different, but this is actually a feature in the game where you can augment your frame or your weapons with different perks, and for example give your weapon a different damage type, or maybe faster attacks, more crit, or even combine certain ailments that it can produce thanks to the combinations of damage types it does, and so on. So there's a lot of really cool stuff you can do by optimizing and min-maxing your setup with exactly the stuff you want in order to fill the gaps or just specialize even further. You also have your Sentinel, your trusty companion that you unlock throughout the playthrough, and that can also help you out with a bunch of support and utility effects or even a bit of extra damage. I was also impressed by the level design in Warframe. The environments look beautiful, and some of those maps are gigantic, allowing you to roam freely and explore and find secrets in corners, or like find little side objectives or something like that, which was a ton of fun to explore too. But all that really only scratches the surface. There's so much stuff to discover in Warframe, so I can just recommend you guys go check it out. It's a free game, it works on basically all the platforms, so what is there to lose? I had a good time, and as I said, I'll probably jump in again and continue my playthrough whenever I have some time. So if that convinced you, then go check it out. It's for free. There's a link down in the description and in the pinned comment. There's also a code that you can use when you sign up with a fresh account to get a few free goodies in the game, so that will give you a bit of a head start. I can only say my impressions with Warframe were extremely good, so I'm gonna leave you with that. Hope you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.